Matter of how Irma, or it is a matter of how Irma is going to affect Florida, right, Danny?
Right. It's not if. We are looking at a sure thing in terms of potential impacts. It's how severe, and that's what we're still trying to nail down in terms of that turn in the forecast track. I'll show you that updated track in 1 second. First, I want to start with a look at Irma, a massive, incredibly strong monster of a storm. Wind speeds 185 miles per hour. Taking a closer look, St. Bart's right in the center. It looks like it's moving onto Anguilla this morning as well. You can see the eye of that storm moving right over the small islands. So many of these islands just getting pounded this morning. We're talking 185 mile per hour sustained winds. Here are the Virgin Islands right here. So conditions there going downhill quickly. That's headed toward Puerto Rico next. So that's kind of next up in the path of Irma. It is starting this northerly track now. So west-northwest. There's a northerly component to its movement. And on the official forecast track, it's still forecast to move just north of Puerto Rico as we head into the next couple of days, but still as a Category 5. That's where we're at right now. Gusts to 225 miles per hour. Pressure down to 914 millibars. It'll continue on this west-northwest track, moving north over Hispaniola, north over Cuba. And then here's the key. I don't want to bury the lead here. I know this is what we're all focused on, and that is what was updated by that latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center, indicating a trend further east. That's what the models were showing this morning, both the GFS and the Euro, showing a trend where that track shifts a little further east, which I don't want to. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't want to give you too much hope that conditions here in Southwest Florida, it's nothing to worry about. We're still going to feel impacts, but the further east we can get this official track, the better. As it stands right now, if this official track verifies, we're still looking at the potential for major impacts in Southwest Florida. You can see the official track takes it right up the center of the peninsula here, which means we could potentially see the eye of a Category 3 or 4 storm moving right through our inland communities. That would still bring incredible damage to Southwest Florida. So as it stands right now, we're still in major preparation mode, but I'll tell you, these forecast models are continuing to trend further east, and the National Hurricane Center does give us a wide margin of error here. We could see this forecast track move either direction, and we will see it move east and west as these models flip-flop. That's expected this time in terms of this far out in a hurricane forecast. So the major message is still prepare, but we still have time to nail down the exact details. Showing you the models, what I'm looking at to try to give you the best and most accurate forecast. Still looking at high confidence north over Hispaniola, north over Cuba. But again, that key is the turn, and almost 90-degree turn as we head towards Saturday, and that's going to dictate how severe the impacts are. You see, some models still give us right up the state. That's not looking good in terms of severity of impacts. We would see major impact through a lot of major cities, Miami, West Palm, Fort Myers, Tampa, up through even Jacksonville as it takes that track. But you see a lot of these models are now shifting a little further east. That's what the Euro is doing this morning, the latest run. But again, it's one run of the Euro. Yesterday's afternoon run moved it right up the west coast, which is worst case scenario for us. But this is the latest run of the Euro, takes it right up the east coast, and you'll see right now the GFS, at least the latest run of this model, is similar right up the east coast. We're still getting impacts in Southwest Florida. We will still feel some sort of wrath from Irma. Just again, it's the severity of impact. I'll show you the GFS ensemble so you can see how wide that margin of error still is. So we're still not in good agreement. Again, this is the GFS, the American model, run multiple times with 1 or 2 factors changed, and that gives us a spread of, I measured it this morning, 480 miles between the farthest east and the farthest west track. We still have many options that take it right up the state, which means preparations need to come to a close quickly. We want to prepare for the worst case scenario, but some of those trends, again, still shifting a little further east. The reason why is this area, this ridge of high pressure. You can see Irma skirting right below it, trying to get around it, trying to take that path of least resistance. The other players here is that trough, that dip in the jet stream, and then a wave of energy that's going to become a key player as we head into the next couple of days. As that trough moves up, that wave of energy, you saw it sink down to the southeast, and the further east we can get that wave of energy, the further east Irma stays. So that's what the Euro is saying. The GFS, they think this wave of energy might be a bigger player as we head into the next few days, which is why the latest trend is shifting Irma further east. So that's the why. That's the why we're seeing this trend shift. But I'll tell you, the trends can and will shift again over the next couple of days, which means the threat is clear. We will see impacts and feel impacts from Irma. The severity is yet to be pinned down, but it will be as soon as we get that exact track. So timeline Saturday to Monday, meaning preparations need to come to a close over the next day or two. And by that point, we will have the official track and have a better idea of exactly where and when that northerly turn takes place. As for your Wednesday, clear and quiet, few spotty showers in the Gulf, but dry over Southwest Florida. Very seasonal setup ahead of us. Sun and clouds to start, highs in the low 90s, scattered afternoon storms. You know exactly what to expect today, tomorrow, and Friday. It's as we head toward the weekend that will be dictated based on Irma's path. So, of course, we will update that weekend forecast as more details and updates become available.
Things are getting